This week on Hermitcraft.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, hi, Cub. Didn't see you there.
Hello. Wow, that's really loud. Jeez.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is PixelRiffs, our writer is LoyXP, and you've heard of Turf War. Now welcome to Land Battle. Very feisty ground they've got there on the Hermitcraft server. For the uninitiated, Land Battle is not a battle of land, but of lads, and the lads in question are BdoubleO and GoodTimesWithScar. The two are competing on the matter of who can get the most diamonds by selling plots for building in Aque Town. The winner takes it all, which by now is already looking mighty impressive, so expect your favourite hermits to have to deal with the two solicitors, and with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Wells Knight, who actually doesn't have a video out, but did show up in Azumavoids and also for the Hermits Helping Hermits event, which was an explosive one this week, as the whole bunch was working specifically on blowing up Wells Knight's shop. You see, with all the Aque Town developments, the location of Wellsmart has become much more valuable as the city creeps in from the ocean and surrounds the store on all sides, which is why Azuma buys the place from under Wells and demolishes it for future repurposing. The action only took him all of his stat poker winnings and then some.
Consider also it's like a 50 by 50 plot.
Ooh,
4 diamond blocks.
that's an expensive piece of land.
5
Also,
diamond
keep
blocks.
in mind,
this was purchased originally when there was basically nothing here. Since then, there's been some appreciating property values.
It seems the difference is going to be made back in Magma Head profits as X connects the spawner-powered farm from last week to the nether roof for easier and more frequent access. Then again, one could get some use out of fire resistance with false symmetry around. Luckily, False's prank energy will be channeled into being a mischievous neighbour to Scar, because that somehow ended up being part of the property contract. BdoubleO sold her not just on the plot by the realty office, but also on the idea of swapping Scar's flowers for dead bushes every now and again, and maybe a lava trap or two.
You know what? I feel like if I stand here, I think this build here and this build here are almost, if you combine them, if they both had a baby, my build might be the one that would come out, I guess.
But the joke is still on her, as what the dealmaker failed to mention is that this happens to be the noisiest neighbourhood out of the bunch.
Going crazy. There's no one else on to even ask. But, somehow I don't think that's what it's meant to do.
Scar has plenty of trouble on his own, now that bizarre beasts from the depths of heck are coming through the hole in the world he dug out. Not helped by the outerworldly horror already present, the giant B-Dub's head.
Hey, Scar!
Ho, 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 B-Dubs, is that you?
Scar! Hello!
Oh, you are so big.
Yes, how are you today? The business going well?
That's a big head for a little guy.
At the head of the estate crusade, the two competitors meet up to split the plot between them in a sequence of party games, because the two cash-rich land moguls somehow couldn't find a coin to flip between the two of them.
We look so stupid. But I'm thinking maybe it'd be a good idea to go back to your original idea of just doing this as Spencer, because I'm kind of getting worn out a little bit.
You killed me. I'm dead now, by the way. I don't know
You're
if
a
you noticed
ghost.
that.
Yeah.
I'm literally a ghost.
Still, the games serve him well as far as flexing on the competition goes. B-Dubs may not have a game plan prepared for their land-splitting showdown, but he's definitely got sales tactics worked out for flogging his share of the plots. Buyer incentives are the first strategy he tries, with mystery boxes included in each available slice of terrain. He freely admits that most of them are just a way to get rid of excess gunpowder from the creeper farm, but a couple might have more valuable surprises.
So one of them will be filled with gunpowder. Another one, probably filled with gunpowder. And then maybe another one filled with gunpowder. But then maybe one, will have a full suit of gunpowder.
While he's in the habit of stuffing things into surprise boxes, he recruits another villager from his breeder under the mountain and rows them over to Aque Town to become business partners with the pillager in the food cart.
Yeah, look at him! He's just peaceful!
Good to see them working together, making tacos on this taco stand.
To do this, he has to carve a new water channel from his idyllic medieval townscape out into the Strait of Gibraltar. But, as Joe Hills gleefully points out, the river actually connected to the Hermitlantic Ocean if he'd simply rowed the other way, but that way would have been blocked by the enormous mass of the Ever Given.
Look at this! I blocked commerce on the server! BdoubleO could have come this way! We have created a working model of the Ever Given. Fully functional.
Said monstrosity is now more detailed than ever and branded with the community spirit it deserves after Joe emblazons the word Hermitcraft across its port side.
Boom. That's kind of surreal. But you know what? That's Hermitcraft at its best, in my opinion.
The community really comes through for Grian when the netherite equipment lost in the big elevator blow of 2021 is restored easily with just a shopping session, and the big elevator is easily sorted out by one redstone savvy fan.
Let's give it a go. Bail. Bail!
With the Scar murdering mechanism in place, Grian puts together a top room office and then another one, his first decision being to turn another plot of the Aque into a minigame.
And there's going to be music playing, and it's going to be amazing.
Titled the HCBBS, short for Big Barge Sweep this time, the sweep is indeed planned to be sizable. After a tutorial tunnel with proximity chat jukeboxes, the player will be transported into a minecart roller coaster where their score will be determined on the amount of materials they can drive-by snatch from chests along the way. Naturally, only the hull for the project is complete, but generally these things are worth the wait.
You need to get as many items from the shulker boxes as possible. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you? You're going a bit...
Another minigame rapidly coming together is CubFan135's Pyramid Parkour. The top level of the ancient tomb is divvied up into the difficulty-coordinated tunnels that in turn are segmented jump to jump, all equipped with a rage quit door, which is a fun feature you will definitely need. CubFan starts by establishing the network for it first, hoping to fill in the jumps later. All in all, this is a nicer way of doing an obstacle course, even if the actual jumps promise to be quite challenging. But it's not like this is Cub's first time building a friendship ender.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a situation here. The bandit llama has become somehow trapped inside the parkour. I might just leave him there.
Zedaph revisits his own attempt at a rage game Not Really and prepares to introduce it to a larger audience. Adding a driving range to his knockback mini-golf course along with a ball returner machine, Zed moves towards hosting a live tournament on the green in future.
We'll be live playing a massive game, or 2 or 3, who knows, of the golf to see once and for all who wins golf.
Just hoping his bed doesn't drop him on the wrong side for it, now that the randomizing tech has been updated and tweaked to actually work with newer mechanics.
But then as soon as I don't want it to, it changes.
A much more complex armor stand entertainment goes into Zombie Cleo's massive time-lapse episode in which we see her finish up the creature zoo and the visitors in it.
I don't know who I remember doing this, but somebody did this. Like wheels made of pickaxes. I just love that entire... I just love the entire aesthetic.
The many Hermit's personalities are also reflected in the Harbour City's new superheroes, where Cleo installs a new panorama featuring Mumbo Jumbo as Weird PhD, Wells Knight as Legally Distinct Pikachu Viking, and Grian as Loki, which is ironic because Grian is pretty much anything but low-key.
Like one episode of montages is great in like 40 something, but I'm really proud of this one. This one's really cool.
XBcrafted, on the other hand, is getting back to rural life now he's got the keys to the post-apocalyptic wasteland back. Across the river from the shattered savannah, he levels the ground and channels in water for a modern-looking crop farm, then raises a nearby barn for, barn stuff to happen.
I think it's coming along pretty freaking well. So you can see I got here, this, like where the person, they stand here, the horse runs stuff, you know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm saying.
XB isn't the only one pining for a simpler life. Iskal returns to the server after a vault hunting vacation and immediately heads for the nearest pool party. It turns out that's on top of Pacific, so he figures he might as well start the interior while he's there. And he brings the beach party inside, filling in a concrete floor and covering it over with sand, adding a retro-looking entrance to the elevator, and filling the ceiling in a sunset pink any resort island would be jealous of. Now he's just got to find Mumbo to see what he thinks of it all.
Hey Mumbo, are you okay? Oh well, he's not even online.
Failing that, he could just make a substitute Mumbo out of sticks, because armor stands seem to be able to act on their behalf. Iskall affirms Vintage Beef's base trade from last week as actually totally legit, moves back into the treehouse, and settles in with his new library.
Now, I'm gonna be honest, I really enjoyed swapping my base, and by the looks of things, Vintage Beef or Beef Skull has been extremely busy.
For Beef, this means a brief identity crisis about whose deeds he actually has now.
I have 2 in my possession now. I honestly don't know which one's real anymore.
But it also means he can continue making improvements to 3 Fox Hole, which in this case means adding a lot of garbage, which is sometimes a code name for decoration, and is sometimes actual garbage, and other times it's motorcycles.
That's a nice looking motorcycle right there, and it's floating!
And finally there's Impulse, who casually builds something the size of his base in a single episode, the Mad Lad. Having swapped all the blue concrete out of his base, he had to do something with it, so why not turn his ice farm into a futuristic-looking mega fortress? Well, he might have needed to farm a few more materials, and there might have been a spreadsheet involved, but it makes for a frankly incredible time-lapse. Just don't expect him to put a lid on it anytime soon, otherwise the ice cube machine will stop working.
So here we go. This is the number of materials that went into this build. Me a long time to build.
All that work deserves some time to relax, so he takes up a Zuma on the offer of an Aque Town penthouse, but on subsequent visits he discovers the city might be a bit noisier than he expected. Ask not for whom the bell tolls. It mostly tolls for B-dubs.
This clock is dedicated to B-dubs, and you can actually hear it.
And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is PixelRiffs. Do you like chickens? Well, let's see if you still like them after they turn into spiders and try to kill us. All this and more in Zloy's Chicken Block series, linked in this week's End Screen Theatre. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.